Hello and welcome to episode 27 of my Minecraft server series. Now, I want to start picking things up in the next few episodes. We've only got this episode and the next three episodes of Stargate having a look at everything to do with the Stargate mod. So I want to kind of wrap things up a little bit and start to get to our end game with the Stargate stuff, which will include building our Stargate network, which will involve going out, picking up some Stargates from other places, and then placing them where we need/want them. And I've already been having a look at where I want to put them. So here we have a start of a list of places that I might want a Stargate in case I want to do some resource gathering or something like that. Now, having a look at some of them, we've already got Stargates in a desert biome, a plains biome, the nether, and the end. We've already got those four. Four. Yeah. Desert, plains, nether, end. Those we've already got. Those we've got in... Where is the book? There's the book. So obviously you've got Abydos already, which I haven't even put on here. But you have Abydos, you have Spawn, you have Base, which is literally just behind that wall. Here you've got a plains village, and a desert, and the end. So we've got plains, desert, end, and as we saw 3 episodes ago, we've also got one in the nether. So yeah, 4 already done. Bosh. I wouldn't mind having one in an ice biome, because, I might have a look at doing a couple of bits and pieces using ice and ice boats and things like that, and I don't know, it depends on what I've got coming up next and what other plans I've got coming up. So having access to ice can be useful. We've also got a woodland mansion, an ocean monument, and the deep dark. Now, when it comes to the deep dark, I know we've got one closer to spawn over in that direction. But what I might do, and what I want to do, is find a deep dark further out. So we already have a deep dark somewhere underneath this spawn mountain. Somewhere in these chunks. Between spawn down here and Skulk here. Now this particular waypoint here is quite far down, probably around about 30 or 20 on the Y coordinates. But yeah, you've got a deep dark somewhere underneath this mountain right here. But we've already looted it. We've already, gone through and taken what we can. I mean, we might have missed a couple of bits and pieces in that, but, we've already been down there. So I want to have a look somewhere else in the vast space we have out here. And something else that I want to do in episodes 30 to 39 is... or 31 to 40, something like that, is building a rectangle, because this is a very odd shape you've got here. So I kind of want to build out where you've got this upside down Y shape here. I want to go all the way down to maybe this village over here, and I want to venture out all across here, straight line until maybe about this village, roughly here somewhere. Because then that comes parallel with, it might be Luke's base here. I might come parallel with something like that. Because then it meets up with this section of the upside down Y. Once I've done that straight line trek, I will then go all the way up, and go all the way up to this kind of corner, this black corner up here, where I'll then take a westerly approach, come across this village again, which I think has a Stargate looking at these crops, unless I've already picked it up. And I'm basically going to go straight line, straight through here, come out the other side, round about here-ish, and then head in a southerly direction back down to this village. And then fill in that rectangle with, you know, chunk loading and things like that, and seeing what's within this massive rectangle. But that is a lot of distance to cover. I mean, right, this is Luke's base over here. We're over here. And if I were to do that, Luke's base is 5,100 blocks away. All the way over there. So that's 5,000 blocks between the base over here and Luke's base down here. And if that's 5,000, you're probably talking between this village here and, say, this bit here, 7,000 blocks, which is going to need a lot of rockets, because that's how I'd probably be doing it. Just flying across. But that is a long-term goal. That is a long-term venture, that one. Today I want to start setting up and start prepping areas for our Stargate network, my Stargate network. Before we jump out of the base and have a look at those areas, I do just want to cover a small thing that I did between episodes to do with some of the stuff that we gathered last episode. Okay, so within this crafting room, obviously I've changed a few bits around. I've added a bin behind me, and have I actually emptied it recently? Let's get the what's it back. Let's have a look, see. No, I haven't emptied it. But if you look up in the map here, you can see that items are being dispensed underneath the ground here. And I've actually got a 1x1 little lava pocket. And then I've got 2 observers, and I literally just move one with a piston. The piston's here, and it's moving an observer in and out, triggering a dropper, which then drops everything filtered down into a nice little lava pool. I just thought, I get a lot of bones, I get a lot of stuff. I mean, I've already got, what, a quarter of a chest of bones in the tree farm. I don't even know how many I've got next door in the other farm, but that's beside the point. What I came here for is this contraption. So, obviously, within these 10 episodes, we're looking at everything of the Stargate mod. But I don't think I've actually covered all the different ingots and how you get them. So, I'm going to briefly touch upon that, because part of that will come into building our Stargate network. Because you can use this contraption to create the fuel that sends power to the Stargate, for those who didn't know. Everything for this contraption I keep in this barrel here. Now, I'm literally just going to do enough for what I need. But essentially, I have placed down here the order of which I need to enter these items by right-clicking each of these cauldrons. What you can also do is use just enough items, and you can click on a thing, and up here, cauldron smelting. Okay, and then you've got lava bucket, and it tells you how to get each of the different items. Ingots of any kind can be made by chucking a snow block into the cauldron once you've place some items in and got the preferred color you want. But yeah, we're going to cycle through, because the most important one that I feel, unless you're trying to build your own Stargate, the most important collection and recipe is the one on the wall there that you use for this molten refined naquadah, which is used within the DHDs to send power to the gate. This is the important stuff. And this is how you do it. So you grab raw naquadah alloy ingots, which you can find down in the caves. Actually, I think it's in the nether, this one. This particular raw naquadah is found in the nether. And what you literally do is right-click the cauldron. And it changes the lava from orange to this very, very dark, dirty green. But that's not it. That's not the end. Okay, the second one we put in, iron ingot. Because essentially what you're filling it up with is a alloy of some description. So by right-clicking the cauldrons again, mixing the two together, we now have this molten naquadah alloy. So we've gone from raw naquadah to naquadah alloy. And an alloy is any metals mixed with, I think in the real world it's steel, I think. But I think it's a mixture of metals anyway. So it's an alloy because it's a mixture of naquadah and iron. Once you've got this liquid alloy, you could stop there, depending on what you're making, because you can create Pegasus items using the alloy ingots. You can create ring blocks, you can create plates and things. You can use these bits to create Stargate elements, gears and such. DHDs use naquadah plates and alloy ingots. So, there's a lot here that this particular thing can be used for, especially a capacity upgrade crystal, which increases how much of the refined naquadah you want to put into the DHDs, or you can put in the DHDs. And to get that refined naquadah, nether quartz. Right-click, 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 and right-click. And there you have 4 cauldrons of refined naquadah. And all this goes into the back of the DHD. So if I get myself a free hand for a second, if you right-click the back of the DHD, it shows you the crystal. If you have any upgrades, obviously I have the glyph crystal to be able to dial 8 and 9 symbol addresses. And I've got the control crystal, which allows me to use the DHD. And this is the window that we are focusing on this second. So you've got a slight outline of a bucket here linked with this gauge here for the refined naquadah. So there's 2 ways you can do this. One way is, or way 1 is, pick up the bucket, stick it in the bucket slot, and it'll empty it in. Okay, pick it up, pop it in. Okay, so now we're at 2205, and I'm going to put liters. I have searched up what MB is, and now I can't remember, but there you have it. So yeah, I'm going to call that 2.205 liters. Got to remember that, 2205, because the second way is you can just right-click the bucket to the back of the DHD. Now I have 4 empty buckets again, and now I've got 4205. So there's 2 ways you can fill. Now I don't believe, if I pop that in, no, I can't put an empty bucket in this slot. So if you want to take any out, like I did last episode, underwater with the Pegasus Gate. I'm sorry, did that have... Oh, that's really kind of cool. That's really cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen that. I don't think I've had a deep dive into the model of the DHD. That's actually really kind of cool. There's some elements I didn't know existed. Anyway, yes, like I was trying to do last episode with the Pegasus Gate under the water, you should just be able to right-click the back of the DHD. Whoops. I don't know if that registered as a double click or not. But yeah, you should just be able to right click. Okay, it doesn't like that for some reason. Nope. It don't like it. And I seem to have lost a bucket. So I'm going to pop that back in there. Somehow, some way, I've managed to glitch it and I've managed to lose a bucket. I don't know if that's an issue with my end or whether that's just a bug or a glitch with the mod. Either way, once it's in, unless you've come across a DHD out in the Minecraft world, and you want to take it and try and save some of this refined nacre from inside the DHD, I would suggest once it's in the DHD, don't touch it. Because then what you can do is try and see if it will... There you go. So that meant, and obviously it didn't last very long, but that meant it was sending some power and charging up the capacitor banks within the Stargate. And that's what I did between last episode and this episode. I've charged up all of these capacitors so that we're all fully charged up. And I even put a couple in shulker boxes over in the storage room. So now we have a couple of Stargate kits down in the bottom here. So Milky Way, 2 Milky Ways and a Pegasus Gate, all here ready to be placed somewhere in the Minecraft world. The Universe Gate isn't quite ready. It hasn't got any capacitor banks in it, and I need to figure out, because it doesn't have a DHD, it doesn't have a DHD crystal, so I need to figure out what kind of positions I want each of the items to be in, because if I were just to quickly open these up, obviously you've got the Stargate with the glyph crystal, but with a normal one you'd have the Stargate, the glyph crystal down at the bottom, but then you'll have the DHD control crystal, and the capacitor bank. But can't do that with the Universe Gate. I quite like how I've named all of these as well, so it's all very cool. Right, I have spent the last 20 minutes gas bagging. I have literally spent the last 20 minutes rambling. That was only meant to be a 5-minute segment. I didn't realise I was so bad at this. There we have it. So this might be a slightly longer episode. But it's currently night and I'm not going anywhere in the dead of night. So I'm going to do a quick jump cut. In between the two scenes, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to put these buckets away. And I'm going to establish where I'm going to go from here. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, and we're back, and I've slept, and buckets are outside of my inventory. I'm going to put the torches up there. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remind myself what these, the Plains Village and the Desert Gates are, and where they are on this map. The Desert Village is going to be... Sorry, I need to change my waypoints. Stargates. There we go. So yeah, looking at what Stargates I have found out in the world, the Desert Village will be one of these three. Whichever one of these three it isn't, or whichever two of these three that it isn't, will be mined, and I don't think that was massively clear. Essentially, if the gate address is this Stargate over here, this Stargate and this Stargate down here will be mined and put into a shulker box. Same for the planes, because I think it's one of these three, and I can't remember. I think it's this one, which is on this lovely little island here. I think that's the Stargate of my plane's address. Now, I could keep this one as my ice, but they are quite close together, so I don't know. I mean, I might decide to move one of them into this little stony area here. But, I mean, this one doesn't necessarily need to be there unless I've already got rid of it. So, yeah, it's just starting to see what we have, where we have, and I think I've just found somewhere else that I might want to Stargate. Because it would be really, really handy to have good, quick access to a pale garden. So I could stick a Stargate on this beach here to be able to get to this pale garden. That sounds like a plan. So yeah, I think the more important one is this desert address here. So let's go dial it. No, I'm going to go pick up some shulker boxes first. Because otherwise we don't have anywhere to put Stargates. I'm not expected to pick up that many Stargates, but it's good to have extras. Cool. And back again. Okay, here we go. Desert village, here we come. Whee! Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, I swear to God I couldn't remember what that gate address went to. But I think I judged that quite well. See, this one's got quite a bit of refined naquita in it. But obviously we don't want to lose anything, so that's what I forgot. That's what I forgot. I haven't brought any buckets with me, I don't think. I've got no buckets in here. That's going to be annoying. I mean, I know I can make the refined naquita, but if you find some, it means that you're not using up those resources. And I've got nothing in here either. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure there's a cave nearby. I will sort something out, whether I show it here on the recording or whether I do it off camera. I will sort it out. And luckily, I have got two ways of getting home. Obviously, we've got the Stargate, but then we've also got the Waystone there as well. So, easy days. So, let's go pick up that Stargate over yonder. There you go, there's a cave down there, which probably has iron and coal. And there's the Stargate that we want to mine up. Whee! How much is in it? Oh, quite a bit. Quite a bit. No, I've decided I'm going to go fetch some iron. Give me 2 seconds. Iron. Coal. Cobblestone. Furnace. Smelting. Buckets. Danger. Danger. Sleeping. Flying. And we're back, and that is a rather cool Sorry, just taking a few screenshots. Okay, so the whole reason I went off and did that really interesting montage is because we have got 6,000 litres of refined naquadah. Now, we don't need a lot of it in here. In fact, one of you can definitely be 100% filled. Very, very nearly. Come on, you can do it. Is that where you're going to get to? Is that honestly as far as you'll go? If I now do that. Nope. I think overall, the gate wants to be at about 98%. So if it isn't, which it now is, yeah, okay, I suppose I can live with that. I'm sure I can sort something out in my own gate, put it into my own gate and do the thing. So yeah. Okay, so that's brought it just below the 6,000. So we are losing almost an entire bucket, but it does mean we have got a couple spare. Now, I'm going to count these out. What happens if I shift right click? Does that make any sort of difference? Nope. Okay. We're getting there. 2 more. And that one didn't quite go well. But we've got all 5. We have all 5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these shulker boxes and I'm going to fill it with one of them. And I think what I'm going to do is grab another shulker box and fill it with all of them. And pop those over here. So that's got the buckets of refined naquadah and that's got the capacitor banks. Cool. All that's left to do is mine the gate up. There's no crystals in the gate, there's no iris in the gate, there's no capacitors in the gate. It's just the gate. Far too much sandstone being collected along with this stuff. As long as none hit that cactus. Because we all know what objects like to do if they hit a cactus. No, we've got 8 ring blocks and 9 chevron blocks. That's cool. That's very cool. Right, let's just fill this in. Is that right? No. Oh. It's my super fast pickaxe. Because you need to go in there. Sorted. There used to be a Stargate here, and what we're going to do, I can't find this. Yes I can. Yes I can. Delete. Delete, because there is no longer a Stargate here, and I will take these skeleton heads for all my troubles as well. Because we all know about my collection of heads. I'll take that singular piece of bread as well. Sorted. The only thing left to actually take is the DHD. Let's pop these in here. Because then I think I want another crystal here, and then I want no, capacitor here, and then page, and maybe a crystal of some sort. One of the Milky Way crystals, I think. There you go. That's almost an entire Stargate kit, but I need to color code it and rename it. Right, going to do this actually. I'm going to pop back over to my smelting area, see if I can't make a few more buckets up. And then we're going to head over to that Stargate over there and pick that one up, and then we'll go home and end out the episode. And essentially this is what we're basically going to be doing over the next couple of episodes. We're going to be going out, seeing some of the biomes that we've got, having a look at some of the addresses that we've got, and seeing if we can't prep some areas for some Stargates to be added. I'm going to be rather cheeky now. I'm going to take that one because that's basically full. It's 0.03% away from being full. You know, that's 100% in my books. So yeah, we're just missing blank page here and the Milky Way crystal in here. Not too bad, actually. Capacitor over there. And that one in there. Nice. So yeah, we'll fill another shulker box in just a minute. Just want to get a few more, because I have no idea what's in the other Stargate. What's in the other DHD. Thing is, a lot of this Naquita will be going in my own gate to charge up capacitors. Although once we've established a proper gate network, I can go out with my buckets of refined Naquita and I can go and fill up DHDs across my network so that when I come through the gate, the DHD will start to recharge the power within the gate. Or every time I go through, always take a bucket of refined Naquita so I can pop it through so it will always keep it topped up. Something to that effect. I don't know. This is one thing that is never really touched on within, you know, the Stargate series and things like that. You know, people from Earth never really... They knew about the cold fusion between the DHD, the cold fusion charging between the DHD and the Stargate. You know, linked, they have virtually unlimited power. Kind of. Obviously, they never had enough power to dial 8 or 9 symbol address, but they virtually never died, so you'd always be able to get home as long as there was a DHD. Though you could always use a bolt of lightning. Right, I'm guessing it's turning to night? Yes. Cool. Right, last couple of buckets. And then we'll head off. These two items can stay here. That I don't have a problem with. We'll do one more because I have no idea how much is in the other DHD, in the next DHD. But, you know, we'll see. Excellent. So we'll just make up this bucket. And fly away. It's a good job I've got another stack of rockets, because we're running low. And here we are. Boop. Anything in this chest? Just bread. Just bread. Now, see, this is probably one that I've been to before, because... Or maybe not, I don't know. Whereas this one doesn't have any. Okay, it has a very, very slight amount of the refined Naquita. Okay, that's at 100 already. Now, that's not going to do anything, is it? But because that's at 98%, it's now stopped. Trying to waste as little as possible during this bit. Where are we? Yeah, that's close enough. So we'll just pop those to one side. We'll pick up the control crystal and the DHD. And what's left is the Stargate. Right-click that block, right-click that block, and then dig up the rest. Job done. And as you can see, we've got 8 ring blocks, 9 chevron blocks, and a base block. So the only thing left to do is actually place them within a shulker box. Crystal in the middle, DHD over there, full capacitor over there, and again, all we're missing are these two. Swap those two. I know it's 0.01%, but, you know. Cool. Sorted. Capacitors over there. And we've got 2 Stargate kits. All I need to do is remove this Stargate from the map and mine up these skulls to add to my collection. And we've made 10 buckets for nothing. And yeah, I'd like to explore a little bit more of this area and a little bit more of the desert. I left this bit blank. I let a lot of this blank because I explored much of this before the most recent update of the Stargate mod. So I was kind of hoping once I've updated, I can explore a little bit more of this and see what new Stargate bits might generate within this desert biome. But I mean, you know what Minecraft's like. I doubt I'd find anything massively new. And do you know what? There's no point going home just to end up the episode. So we've made a start. We've made a start. Where there was 3 Stargates, there is now only 1. You never know, there might be another one in this black bit here, which we can maybe keep or something, I don't know. I haven't quite made up my mind yet. But there we have it. We've started prepping for our Stargate network. We have a set designated desert Stargate. It's the plains one we'll be having a look at next episode, and if I've got time in that episode, we'll try and place a couple down in some of the other places, and maybe even look for a deep dark to place one in. I do know that from my other exploration attempts, we do have a woodland mansion to go have a look at. So, you know, that might be next episode, or that might be the episode after. Go in, defeat all the evokers and things, place down Stargate, and call it a day. I know it's not massively Stargate-centric, but it's kind of a means to an end. Oh, cactus just grew right in front of my eyes. How very nice. Right, before I ramble on too much more, hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you've enjoyed the string of Stargate-centric episodes. And yeah, until I see you in the next episode, have a good one. Bye for now.